can I please call on Catherine McKenna, UNISON President, to address conference.
And it's only day one. Thank you, conference. Welcome to lovely Brighton and welcome to this year's NDC. It's great to see so many familiar faces here, and it's also great to see new faces as well. And conference, it has been an absolute honour to be speaking to you as UNISON President. I've been really proud to represent you all over the past year, and I'm looking forward to going out on a high by the seaside with you all this week. I know some of my delegates want to do some dancing on the beach this week, so we might get that done. Over the next 4 days, we will spend much of our time discussing challenges that face our members, and rightfully so, because there are many. It's a time of political instability, domestically and globally, and it's a time when many UNISON members continue to struggle with the cost of living. And it's also a time when our public services are still dealing with the devastating impact of years of cuts and underfunding. But conference, I'm proud to be able to say that the past year has also seen our union at its best. We came out fighting, delivered for members, and as a result, there is much to celebrate. Our Pay Fair for Patient Care campaign, a campaign that has now smashed through the £200 million milestone, and that's money for our health workers. And that's not a slogan, it's real money in members' pockets. Money helping members pay rent, mortgages, heating bills, and put food on the table. And let's recognise the incredible legal work carried out by our union. And a special thanks should go to Adam Cream, who has led these campaigns and will be retiring at the end of July. So thank you, Adam. And we've secured major equal pay victories at councils in Birmingham and Southampton. And we've won major race and disability discrimination cases for our members across the union. And we've stood up for members that just wanted fairness and dignity at work. And conference, of course, we have been taking the fight directly to employers with major industrial action disputes, and we currently have 48 live disputes. And I want to pay tribute to every member who has stood on the picket line this year, which is never easy. It can be scary and it can be daunting, but particularly those taking extended strike action, such as the Gloucester phlebotomists. And those still fighting today, including those involved in the Icefield Academy's dispute. Your NEC is proud to stand side by side with branches on the front line. Our Industrial Action Committee continues to offer support to branches and members throughout disputes. The Industrial Action Fund has paid over £750,000 in the first 4 months of this year. Conference, another source of pride for me this year is our NEC working together. We've built a really strong relationship with our new General Secretary, Andrea, focusing on what matters and what most delivering for our members. And I want to thank the full NEC for putting your trust in me this year. And I hope that spirit of inclusion is one we can continue to build on for the future, because we need to continue to work together. For me, inclusion also means making sure that every member is properly represented in our union, because we know what Westminster politics can be like. And too often, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Cymru are treated as afterthoughts by politicians. The Employment Rights Act has rightly been celebrated as a significant victory, and rightfully so. It represents major improvement to workplace protections for workers in Great Britain. But in Northern Ireland, we are still waiting for our Good Jobs Bill. We're still battling, like we always do. Too often workers in Northern Ireland feel like the poor relation. And that's why it's important that we continue to support each other. And I will keep speaking up loudly and proudly for our members in Northern Ireland, as well as our members in Cymru and Scotland. Conference, being from Northern Ireland, I understand deeply what division can do to communities. and members from every UNISON region will have seen a rise in division over the past year, in our communities, in our workplaces, and on the streets. But it's more important than ever that we stand up to those actively seeking to show hatred and division. We've seen very clearly in recent days with the unforgivable behaviour of Nigel Farage, calling, in his words, pure cold rage. Shamefully exploiting tragedy and directly fueling street violence targeted at those in the Sikh community in particular. In the same way as police staff cannot be blamed for the actions of certain police officers, the community should not be blamed for actions of one individual. And conference, I say this with a heavy heart as someone from Belfast. I would try not to get emotional about this, but in recent days we've seen ugly scenes on the street, in my streets in Belfast, after the stabbing attack. Tensions were quickly exploited by people seeking to spread fear, racism and hatred. Instead of allowing communities space to react calmly, far-right agitators sought to stir up anti-immigrant sentiment and violence. Burning people out of their homes is not acceptable. Attacking our members. Our hospital workers, our care workers and school support staff. Some of our members are affected are here with us today, so welcome to you all. So let this conference send them a message of solidarity to all workers who face this discrimination. And as someone who grew up understanding the damage that division can cause, I know where hatred and scapegoating can lead. We cannot allow working class communities to be divided. We cannot stay silent when our migrant workers and refugees become targets for intimidation and blame. And we must stand firmly on the side of anti-racism, solidarity and unity, because our movement has never been built on division and hatred. That is why campaigning against Reform UK and the far right has to be a priority for our union. Because we have a very proud tradition of equality and justice. Conference, there's been many highlights of my year as president of our union. Earlier this month, I had the great privilege of going to Colombia with Justice for Colombia on behalf of the union. This trip was particularly special as it took place during the Colombian presidential elections. And I was on a delegation with other trade unions as an international election observer. And I'll tell you that, you got my eyes open there, the way they do their elections. And it was a huge honour to play the supporting role in this process. And there will also be a fringe later this week, so I would urge you all to attend. And this shows the importance of UNISON's international solidarity work. And I'm also pleased to say, as president, I managed to visit nearly all UNISON regions. I think I did, but I don't think I went to London, actually. And I was in London every week for some reason. But the particular highlight for me was the National Women's Conference, because this is where my journey as an activist began. National Women's Conference gave me confidence, it gave me encouragement, and ultimately helped me to become the woman I am today. So thank you to everyone who's involved in that. And conference, one of the biggest focuses of my presidential year has been the increasing of involvement of low-paid women in our union. I'm really proud to have helped to establish the Low-Paid Women's Network, and there's a fringe tomorrow lunchtime in Syndicate 3, so please come along to find out more about that. And also conference, my other campaign this year has been supporting women in Hebron. This is a fair trade cooperative supporting Palestinian women in the occupied West Bank through the production and sale of beautiful Palestinian handicrafts. The situation in the occupied West Bank remains critical. Since late 2023, there has been a huge surge in settler and military attacks and increased restrictions on freedom of movement. Many have lost their jobs, and tens of thousands more have had their permits to work in Israel removed. Communities around Hebron have been particularly affected by forced displacement, home demolitions and restrictions on public services. But the Women in Hebron enables women to work together, to earn an income and strengthen communities under occupation. And I first met these amazing women in 2019 on a Trade Union Friends of Palestine delegation, and I was overwhelmed by the resilience, the strength, and the real dignity of the women I met. Their strength in face of unimaginable suffering is really, really humbling. And all they want to do is like we do, provide for their families. That's it, nothing more. And I'm proud to say that our regions and branches have shown tremendous generosity in donating to Women in Hebron. So far, we have raised £23,500. But I know that you're going to be very generous this week, and hopefully we'll get that to 30,000 and we'll break a record. And there's lovely gifts for people outside that you can purchase, but you need cash. The stall is here all week, and you brought all the beautiful stuff from Hebron, so please go and have a look at them and support them if you can. Conference, being president is a huge responsibility, and no one does this job alone. So I want to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone who has supported me this past year. Firstly, thank you to all the UNISON staff. So much of the work that goes on to keep this union moving happens behind the scenes, and it often goes unseen, but it really doesn't go on unappreciated. And a special thanks to Beth Bickerstaff. You have been a constant source of support for me since taking up your role in February. You've kept me informed, organised, kept me calm sometimes, and always pointed me in the right direction. And where would we be without the wonderful Joan Walker? You've looked after me and all my NEC colleagues all year, and I don't know how she does it. I'm sure we have made your life easy. And thank you to my regional NEC colleagues, Margaret and Ali, for your support, and a special thanks to Vice Presidents James and Debbie. And I absolutely could not stand here today without thanking my own branch, Belfast Education Branch. You are amazing. And a particular thank you to our branch secretary and my friend Anne Taggart, who has carried the branch this past year while I've been away floating about as a president, as she says, and to every branch across Northern Ireland who have supported me and encouraged me every step of the way. And all of the regional staff in Northern Ireland, especially our Regional Secretary, Patricia McKeown. She's been a huge support and encouragement, and it's meant a lot to me this year. And I'm just going to say it, Northern Ireland is the best region. It is. They're a wee quiet bunch. Conference, I remember standing here at my first UNISON conference and wondering, who are all them people behind me? So please come along. They're going to kill me for this, but anyway, I'm saying it. Please come over and say hello to me, all the NEC colleagues, because they're here representing you. And it's important that you get to know us and tell us what you want, because after all, conference, you are the sovereign body of this union. This is your conference. We're all here representing the members of our union. And I want to finish with one plea. Please, please get involved this week in whatever way you can. Come up here, speak on motions, attend the fringe events, visit the UNISON. I believe Andrea's going to be doing ice cream later, yeah. Meet new people, share ideas, but most of all, enjoy conference and have a fantastic sunny week in Brighton. Thank you very much.